Welcome to Redacted Science. I'm Jim Craddock, and this is February 9th. That's a Monday, 2026. And this is where I update you on the state of my condition and do my general commentary on whatever I want to comment on because, hey, it's my world too, as I say. Uh, and so we'll start with the symptom update. And so last time I had talked about how I had stomach changes and the leg pain had receded. I continue to basically be in a rather new, I would say, digestive environment. Whereas, I went through months and months of, let's just say, uh, yeah, let's just say what you wouldn't want to hear about from a digestive standpoint, to where now things are, while they still vary, they are much more normal, which is abnormal at this point. But it just shows to you that this is a continuous process. It's a continuously changing thing. And I was talking with my mom. I was over there watching the Super Bowl yesterday, and I said, you know, I know to you it seems like Jim has bad days and Jim has good days, but to me it is a continually changing environment. And so when I have a bad day, it's not like the other bad day. It's these are distinct states a lot of times, and so it's very difficult to describe to anyone who sees you, observes you, because they're just going to say, "Oh, he's either down or up," and really, it's no, it's just a continuous change. I have had days of little to no pain this week, and I document all this on Nostr. And it'll be on nostr.jimcraddock.com. I've already got it set up using Nostr Press. It should extract all my posts once a week and put them out there on Sundays. So what other symptoms have I encountered? So I've really started having, this is rather new over the last week and a half, maybe, very cold hands and feet at times. And it's actually warmed up now outside. So we had a big long cold spell during which I was feeling very warm all the time, which is very unusual for me over the years. And I've generally been chilled. And would always have a heater in my office at work, and I have a heater here in my home office. I like it, 80 degrees a lot of times. But lately I had that had shifted over the last since about, I don't know, October or November, October sometime. I started feeling very warm all the time. Uh, and this is definitely some type of a shift, a physiological change, ATP generation, etc., going on differently. And now and circulatory changes too, I'll note. And now I've got to where my hands and feet get very cold. I had one spell that I know I documented in my book. It's very interesting, and it was documented in the article too. And it talked about how early in this final phase, which for me was 2022, there's this period where so what has happened is during the previous phase, the candidiasis has basically kind of been pushed out of everywhere and shoved down, and it literally hides in your feet because of the way circulation has changed and everything. It can be down there and not be subjected to the pHs that it can't stand and everything else. But what happens is your body gets to a point where it knows it can't hold it down there anymore, or it knows it's going to break out of there, would be a better way to put it, because everything's changing within your body. And so it changes your circulation. And what happens is your feet get extremely cold. I mean, so cold. My feet were so cold that it was the middle of the day. I took a shower. I put on all these clothes and socks, and got under a blanket for an hour, and my feet would not warm up. So I finally got in a tub and soaked them in hot water, which is exactly what you're not supposed to do. And I knew it from the article, but I was just like, I'm done. This hurts. Like that's how cold my feet were. Uh, and then literally I don't know if it was that day or the next day. I'm pretty sure it was that day. That's when it went all throughout my system, and I couldn't even wear a shirt. I had to take off my shirt. The burning from my waist up, anything that touched my skin for like 2 hours was just ridiculously painful. I remember texting my wife and saying, like, I cannot take the amount of pain that I'm in. And then pretty soon, that level of pain went away. Like within a matter of hours, that pain came and went. And that's the type of thing that you have to deal with this illness that no one understands. Is that it's a constant state of change. And sometimes, you're in these periods like from 95 to say 2008, it's a slow change. And not things aren't changing daily, and you seem very stable and healthy, and then you go through a rapid transition, as I call them, and a lot of things change, and then things began changing again, but very, very slowly. And then 2014, I had the same thing, a different type of transition, and then 2018, and I'm in shape throughout this time. I'm working out. I would say 90% of that time, just the transitions held me back. And that 2014 one, there was a period of about, I don't know, 6 months, a year, something like that, maybe not even that long, where I was like, okay, I don't think I should work out. And then I started working out again. I started running, cardio, all that stuff, and got back into shape. But with this transition in 2022, I knew immediately that I would no longer be viable for me to work out. I literally canceled my gym membership that day, and it was the right thing to do with all the physical things that I've been through. It is actually bad to work out, it said. So, and I that totally makes sense to me. So that's kind of the symptoms I've had lately. As far as any other symptoms, some returned stiffness to the legs on walking. Not especially painful, but yeah, definitely some stiffness is returned. I think that's probably a shift, a fluid shift, an electrolyte shift going on there again. But let me see. Other than that, oh, I have lost a few pounds. I think on my last update I checked, I just watched it. I was at like 159, and right now I'm a few more pounds down, about 157. I eat 3 meals a day at least. I eat at least 3 bags of barbecue Lay's chips a week. I'm sorry, they're my weakness. This thing really makes you want salt, and I'm not going to exclude but what my body wants. For good, bad, or indifferent. It makes me feel better, I think, to eat it, and that may be bad, it may be good. I really can't tell you the answer to that, but I don't see that I should feel like I should be rigid about all those types of things anymore, because I don't have a supporting medical system. Shoot, my doctor won't even refill right now. He hasn't refilled my Klonopin that I requested last week. And he refused to give me a refill on the fluconazole when it came around. But luckily, I was able to get that from my Cleveland Clinic doctor. And now I have an extended supply, so I'm good. But without my Klonopin, I'll be in trouble, because the one thing that does make you do is at night, your brain has a hard time shutting down, and the Klonopin, just a tiny little bit, is all it takes to kind of to fix things. So trying to think, the weight, the nails are something that I've discussed at length, but I'm going to go here and cover it one more time. But so because of the pH changes and the mineral changes in your body, your nails change, and they change in a lot of different ways over time. And there's earlier periods in this, like after previous transitions, when your nails actually hurt, because I think what's going on there is kind of the mineral, the depositing of more minerals, or the apoptification of the cells, and nail bed changing, and you get like a little white line that goes across all the way across your nails, that's kind of back from where the front of your nail is. Your nail widens at the front, uh, and the end of your finger it's hard to describe, but the end of your finger isn't as long, and so your nail bed recedes some too. It's all pretty complex. But as you go through all this, the toenails change in similar ways. They widen, okay, but they become paper thin. And so like you can like literally take my toenail, not my big toenail, but every other toenail, you could take them and kind of wiggle both ends, and like it's not stiff. And you can tear it down the middle into the quick with no pain whatsoever. There's no live nail bed right there, is what I'm trying to tell you. And then the fingers are different. So they do have some type of nervation still under the nail bed, but they also become thin, but they can become very strong and thin. So as a result, they're extremely sharp. And because the end of your finger kind of recedes some, they tend to stick out further than you would like them to, even when you trim them nicely. Uh, but yeah, they're extremely sharp, and it's odd. But that was documented in the article. So, and I'm living it. It's just yet another, verification of the science to me. So, what else am I going to comment on? First of all, they're pouring the concrete on my pool today. That's awesome. With a condition like this, I had to teach myself over the last 4 years to just go ahead and commit. And at the beginning of those 4 years, I was not able to do that. I would look out in the future. I couldn't see. It was just too foggy, existential. I couldn't think out into the future. And I was always worried about dates and things like that. And what I eventually came to is I just commit. And I'm like, if I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't. So when my wife wanted a pool last year, we got a pool. And they signed the contract in July, and now it's February, and they're finally pouring the concrete deck that goes around it. So it's amazing. So that's one thing I want to comment on. Other than that, I have been building. I built nostr.jimcraddock.com. I have gone out and posted another article, this time about a business idea that I tried to drum up with a friend of mine a few years ago. Thanks, Lance. We tried. It's called Nosy. And the basic concept is a system where you as a user can input a question and target who you want to answer that question. And then then you put in a payment, and those people in that target group are able to earn that payment for answering your question. Okay. And so with a decentralized system like Nostr based, you can do that with sats. So that's Bitcoin. So I kind of redid my data model for it to allow for Lightning transactions. And I posted that out there with an article and said, hey, here's an idea for somebody if they want to take it further. But to me, what that allows you to do is so much as far as instant polling or near real-time polling. Let's say you want to ask a question to, you're a guy and you're wondering, what women find attractive. And so you're looking for a specific type of woman and what she finds attractive. So you want, what do tall women with, that work in the medical industry like, okay, about, men, and you want to ask certain attributes, or you're, a company and you want to ask a very specific group of people out there a question. All right. Right now, the tools for doing all this suck. Okay. There isn't anything that people would have installed on their phones, really. I mean, there's YouGov, I think, but these aren't things that people really want to use because they're really not earning anything from it, and they can't go ask their targeted questions. It's just not a complete system. And so by doing this, it allows that company who wants to ask 10,000 people something, okay, they can go out there and put in 100,000 sats or 500,000 sats, which isn't that much money, and they can get their answers from that targeted group very quickly, because over time, all the answers that you give build up this profile of you and allows the system to ask you to include you in all these different dimensional groups and say, hey, you're a great target for this question that they want to ask. And so you would get an alert, or it would show up in your, hey, you qualify for the payment on these questions, uh, and then you'd have to have some truth verification and things like that. But the great thing about Nostr is you have a distinct key that you sign in with. So that could be your key. Now, obviously, you could be a bot or something like that, but I built in a bot flag, and you would just design bot algorithms that would go look to see, hey, are they answering consistently for the questions that we're asking, and look at the timing of their answers and things like that, and then you can cap people's answers and things. So I think it's a doable problem. It's obviously an issue you'd have to overcome, but anyway, that's nosy. Put that out there. What about Bitcoin? So last time I talked, Bitcoin was in the 80s. It hit 60. Yeah, it hit 60 within the week, and then right now it's around 70. So that's Bitcoin for you. Hopefully you bought at the bottom and there and you bought the dip. But silver, had plunged literally on the day I made my last recording, and I think it's recovered well. I know it's not over 120 yet, but it's still doing great. I add miners is what I would say. I added a nickel miner here just today, as a matter of fact. Hymns, I mentioned it as being one of the ones that might not perform well. Yeah, it's got clobbered over the weekend. I guess Novo Nordisk sued them for one of their GLP-1 drugs that they were compounding. But I think, from what I understand, GLP-1 is a small part of their business. Now, then, if they go after all the compounding, I mean, that's more significant, but compounding is legal. So I think they lose that argument. And the Trump is out there, blowing his horn, or his government is, about, oh, we're going to go after you. But I think they got their hands full in other areas. I don't, just my opinion from all the Epstein stuff that's hitting the fan. It really looks like, you got people all over the world, countries all over the world, their leaders are being held. Responsible, or at least being asked to step down or take responsibility for being mentioned in the Epstein files. I think there's a lot of redaction that will be undone still yet in the future. A lot of these emails, they've redacted who sent them, for example, which that person's not a victim, so they don't get any anonymity if you're going to release these files. So. Assuming all that happens, I think that's going to be a big deal. I don't know what it means. I don't know what that does to the country. I could tell you that doesn't matter who you put in charge right now. Financially, this is the same direction it's going to go. The only hope for everybody is something like Bitcoin. And so my worry is if you put, the Democrats in there, which are who I voted for, just to be clear, that they will try to go after Bitcoin, because honestly, it is an opt-out. It is a way to, escape the system. And they're all about the system, just like the Republicans are all about the system. It's a different system. So, I think we need some more level-headed people in there who are willing to say, okay, we've got a really bad problem. We need to solve it in a way that does not give us complete authoritarian control over our people, because that's not what our country is about. And we'll see if they do that. So something, Nostr is a great way to demonstrate that you don't need authoritarian control. What else? I think it just in general, I find it all fascinating. For me, I feel like it's a book or a series that I'm never going to get to see the final episodes on, and so I'm just glad every week when a new episode comes out, and so every day is a new episode of this melodrama of watching basically the world kind of just implode. I mean, I'm sorry, but you've got Netanyahu over there in Israel, and what they're doing. And yes, folks, that's genocide. And hey, at the same time, I'm going to tell you that they're fighting people who believe that their religion should take over the world, and are willing to die to do that. And that's bad too. So, hey, it's a bad situation all around. But and you got us going around being bullies, taking over Venezuela. okay, kidnapping their president. And did we really kidnap him, or did we like? I'm not really sure what went on there because it kind of seemed like he was happy. So I don't know. And then, now we're saber rattling at Iran, and I'm sure, we'll probably bomb them or something. And, here's the guy who said he was going to be the no war president. And, I mean, if you want a no war country, that's China. I mean, who have they bombed? Nobody. And they seem to be doing okay. So I don't know. I think the world is crazy. It's very interesting to watch go on. And when I have days when I can just be entertained by it, I enjoy being entertained by it. When I have days that I can make money, I enjoy those. And when I have days when I lose a boatload of money, I don't enjoy those. Uh, Taxes. I worked on taxes this week. I'm trying to get those done. Those are something that as far as crypto goes, navigating Coinly isn't the most intuitive thing for somebody who knows absolutely nothing about crypto. So I'm trying to get that done. Hey, and there's a form of 5329, I think. It's got a little checkbox on it. It's good for people like me who have a terminal illness. If you're out there and you're like me, you might look into that checkbox. What else? I don't know. I think that's about it. I went to karaoke this week. I sang Richmond from Richmond as one of my songs, and then I sang Kryptonite as a kind of a tribute song for Brad Garland. So, uh, you know, I'm still doing normal, and I am still capable of doing normal, and I think that's the point, and that's why I make all these entries so that what's going on, because eventually uh, normal will not be achievable, and I don't know if that'll be it's so fast that I'm not exactly sure how that comes about, but what I can tell you is that by documenting all my steps, the more data I have out there, the more undeniable my case is. And I know right now, if you go Google redacted science, I'm the first person you see out there. And that is like, to me, all the recognition that I need to know that my work is out there and it can't be denied. And so that at some point it's on IPFS, it's on Nostr, it's on Substack, it's on my own website. I've got YouTube videos, I've got Odyssey videos. I made a podcast. All of these are, part of the resonance that I'm trying to leave behind. Uh, and make the whole thing unredactable, because this is evolutionary science. This is uh, it's evolutionary, and they threw it away. And I don't know what it can do for us, but I know it can do a lot for us. We just need to realize that this science exists. And so that's pretty much it. I'm Jim Craddock. This is Redacted Science. I have terminal onset diabetes insipidus with candidiasis major. The original studies for it were done around the turn of the 20th century. They did more studies later, and then they just removed it from the books. Uh, I managed to duplicate the process and give myself over 30 years of additional lifetime, and I'm grateful for it. And I think that it's my duty to share the science with you. Thank you.